You got me. Erschwicht. Aber natürlich. Ich liebe Erschwicht. Don't know what it means, but I love it anyways. Hammergeil. I'm gonna do a little bit of non-oil, I think. That's not non-oil, Lowko. Where's my non-oil? Found my non-oil, baby. Baby, found it. Yeah, we're gonna clean up some of the brown. I don't like the brown. We're gonna make it darker. This is gonna automatically shade it to be quite a bit darker. I don't really feel like painting every single little section of rock separately. So I'm hoping that this is gonna do it in one fell swoop, you know? I don't think it has to change much, just a little bit of a different tone to it. Yeah, exactly. Like dirt still has to be brown, but we don't want it to be like too brown. Same for the skeleton. The skeleton can also be a little bit darker. Okay, some of the rocks. There's also quite a bit of brown underneath here. It's pretty much invisible, but if I can hit it with the brush, I guess we'll hit it with the brush. Painting the rocks is the best part of mini painting. Do you think so? I like the rim job the best, Dylan. Twitch chat is also a big fan of the edging. All right, perfect. This is all going pretty well. I think I want to do a tiny little bit of a green touch on some of the greens on the base. But just like a darkish green, maybe like a, yeah, like a camouflage green. There you go. And I'll do a little bit of gray as well on the rocks again to get rid of some of the texture of the dry brushing. We'll try and make it a little bit tidier. Don't need much. Just a little bit. Llamas with hats? I've never heard of that. In the Netherlands, we have a show called The Llamas. I'm the program. I'm assuming you're not not referring to the same thing. That was a very fun television show back in the day. Make some of the green a little bit more green. Make the green green again. Don't want to get rid of any of the lovely shade though. So mostly just want to skim the brush around some of the edges here. I loved the llamas when I was a kid. It was so good. But I'm assuming this is an entirely different show you're talking about. If someone told me it was a paint job of a painter 10 years into hobby, I would believe it. Yo, thank you, Sven. That is very kind of you. There's a lot of really nice resources out there to learn to paint now. Like, if I would have started in the 90s, and I would have just, you know, I would have figured out in a half year that I should probably be thinning my paints a little bit, you know? Like, I'm pretty sure if I started painting in the 90s, it would have taken me at least 6 months to realize I could use water. YouTube kind of feels like cheating sometimes, you know? It counts, of course. But watching what other people do and then, you know, trying to emulate some of it is really helpful, I find. It's like most of the mini painting kind of follows at least a somewhat similar pattern, right? Where you like first off do like the color blocking and then you shade it all. And you maybe like relayer some of it, you edge highlight. Like it follows the same pattern. Not necessarily, right? It's not a rule. But seeing people do that over and over and over again, it's kind of nice to use that as a basis, right? To use that as a starting point. When Games Workshop released washes back then, it was mind-blowing? Right. I can imagine. I guess anybody else at that point that would have thought about using oil washes? Because oil paints have been around for hundreds of years. But I guess nobody used oil paints in the early days of mini painting, huh? Very uncommon. Yeah. But the techniques have been there, right? I think hobbyists would have figured a lot of stuff out eventually, even without Games Workshop introducing those things, but we were all painting with regular colors. I do like, when you see some of the old paint jobs sometimes, I can imagine there is a lot of nostalgia. Because everybody painted with bright colors, right? Like everybody used really bright colors for everything. And I kind of dig it. Like I can imagine that's one of those things that you kind of look back at and you're like, aw. Like there was blue, and there was green, and then there was red. Oh, sorry, program. That was not a bug. That was a feature. I want to use some contrast paints here for the tiny little creatures here. So we'll have to base coat it with some nice clean gray. So there's like 2 mushrooms, and then I guess the thing on the left is a smoky thing. I'm not sure why the thing on the left is smoking, or what it's supposed to be, but anyways. I would also like to have a tiny little bit of skeleton bone here to highlight the little skeleton on the base. Maybe it's a root? I think it's smoke. I'm pretty sure it's smoke. Here's the box. It's some sort of weird looking smoke stuff, man. I'm not sure. It's a swamp, I guess. When did people start using wet pellets with mini painting? This shit has gotta be a fucking life changer when they first introduced it. It makes so much sense, and it's very basic in execution. But It makes a tremendous difference in painting. I know some people don't use them at all, but I would not really... I mean, it would be okay to paint without it, but it does really seem like an absolute game changer when people first realized that this was an opportunity. What's going on, Lena? Hello. People figured out wet pellet quickly when acrylics became in use? Okay. Yeah. That makes sense, because it is so useful, but... At the same time, I can also imagine it's not something that immediately crosses your mind, you know, when you first see... Scary thing is, there's a skull in everyone's head? Absolutely, bro. I have a skull in my head right now. Okay, I think I'm gonna do one of the mushrooms red, and then the other one yellow. What's up, Shiny? Shiny is getting a new airbrush this week, guys. He's told himself that he's gonna try and fix his old one, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's not actually the case. Apparently his old one broke. Yeah, the new Infinity did come out, but that one is immediately very high-end. You're looking at the new Evolution? Huge. That's the one I have. I heard rumors that some people even have a skeleton inside of their body. What? No way. What color is the base of a mushroom, guys? I have no idea. Like, the mushroom has like a little head, and then it's got a little stem. What color is the stem of a mushroom? Like a beige? I think so, right? Yeah. It's mushroom colored? Okay, perfect. Thank you, guys. Palette witch flesh? Palette witch flesh for everything, dude. I guess we'll just give it whatever color we want. It doesn't really matter that much. A brownish, beigeish, grayish type of color would be fine. Okay. Screamer skull. It's too small. It's very, well, it's not too small, but I think I'm just gonna use some contrast paints. Maybe even some Agrax would be fine. Maybe some skeleton horde or something. It's very minuscule. You can barely see it. I think it'd be easier if I just dabbed a little bit of contrast paint in there. I'm gonna take some Griff Charger Gray for the little smoky bit. I haven't used this paint in a while though. I think I'm gonna have to shake the shit out of it. Ugh. Okay. I think I'll do it mostly near the bottom. Never mind, I'm gonna do it all over. The original plan has already been thrown out of the window. I'll highlight it with some white or maybe some off-white. The original plan existed for about 5 seconds. It was a good plan. Most plans never survive first contact though. Oh my god, dude, it's starting to really come together now. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, we'll have to wait here for some of this to dry. I think I'm gonna do little dollops of Nurgle's green. Gotta shake the shit out of this stuff too, because it separates within about 2 seconds, give or take. I gotta figure out a color scheme for your Seraphon units? Ooh. I think blue immediately when I think Seraphon, but I guess you can make it whatever color you like. But I think blue dinosaurs. Yeah, the blue is a classic. Okay, so the idea is that we create little bright patches on top of the glossy bits. So I've got a very, very diluted form here, so it's just gonna magically run into all the places, at least in theory. So this stuff also dries up glossy, so it shouldn't be a problem. You're looking at some ashy or desert colored skin? Oh, okay, nice. Are you doing a whole army? I guess if you're doing a whole army, it's a big decision to make. If you decide to go with the Infinity, by the way, let me know, or not the Infinity, sorry, the Evolution. I did find a lot of good YouTube videos of how to, especially how to deep clean it. I mean, maybe it doesn't intimidate you, but I found it a little bit intimidating the first time around. Get a little bit of spillover here onto the rocks as well. I painted one Tyranid a couple months ago. Yeah, maybe a half a year ago. And I found a good video on High Fleet Leviathan. And then I realized, fuck, now I guess I have to do every single one of my Tyranids in that color. I mean, I don't have to, but you kinda do. Luckily, I like High Fleet Leviathan. But I did not really consider a full... You know, I did not really consider what else I could possibly be painting afterwards, you know? So I just kinda... It wasn't a decision that I thought through very long. The red mushroom needs some white dots. Yeah, we're gonna have to do some highlighting. I'm gonna do a tiny little bit of gray as well. And glaze some of the flatter areas. Some splotches here that I don't love. Brush hair. I think it's probably the dry brush. Another one. Pretty familiar with disassembling and cleaning an airbrush right now? Okay, okay, fair. It's pretty easy. On the harder and Steinbach ones anyways. I'm not sure about the other brands, but... What's going on, Mr. D the Hunter? Good afternoon. Hope you're well. I think I'm actually just going to use a little bit of like Nuln oil on the stem of the mushrooms. Just creates a very nice little gray. You're fixing your sleep schedule? Oh shit. You just woke up just now, or? It's 1 p.m. That's pretty good, I guess. At least for your standards. You just woke up? All right, all right. One day, Dita Hunter will be waking up every day at like 6:30 a.m. But today is not that day. And tomorrow will not be that day. Next year will not be the case either. You've been up at normal human hours these last couple weeks? Damn. That's incredible. You're on vacation? You've just had your first 8 hours of sleep for weeks? Nice, dude. Enjoy? I usually sleep quite well. I slept about 8 hours, I think, last night. The trickiest part about sleeping well that I've found is going to bed at a reasonable time. That's how they get you, dude. We are approaching a finished miniature, chat. I don't even know what to do. We're nearly there. Maybe I should blast your ring lights 10 hours a day? Maybe, dude. Just sit under the bright lights at the computer. All day, every day. It does seem to make life a bit easier, but... I want to flood it. I put a little bit too much paint onto the skeleton. Okay. Make it just a bit darker. I want to do some, I think some pure white. Yeah, pure white usually seems a bait. We're gonna use some slight off-white. An ever so slightly off-white. Our beloved brain matter beige. Genuinely a nice color. I really do like brain matter beige. There's little dots on the mushroom. I feel like they have to be in white. That's the only thing that makes sense in my mind anyways. Hey, what's up, Lathreenus? How are you doing today? You had some cheesy toast? A little bit of Protos toast? Delicious. You can use a very light gray and use white on the mod. Yeah, that's usually what I do, Loy, but it's always tempting to use pure white. But pure white is rarely the right color, I find. Well, it is sometimes the right color, right? But not, you know. Off-white seems to do a little bit better. Some tiny little highlights in the smoke. What's the lore of this mini? It doesn't look like other Warhammer stuff. I'm not sure. He is part of the Nurgle, the Maggotkin of Nurgle. So I'm not exactly sure what his role specifically is in the army. But I think he's like a commander or something. Maybe he's a gardener. Yeah, that's what the site is all about. Alternatively, you can also build him with a bell. I decided to build him with a site because I think sites are cool. But you can build him with a bell as well if you want to. You're painting a Tau army, a white armor. It will be suffering from painting white, but it... yeah. Use Corex white, dude. Corex white is a banger. People have told me Corex white is the white to use if you like gray. Guys, I think we're almost done. There's a tiny couple of, or a couple little touches that I would like to do. Now that I have the... There's a couple of little bits of thread over here inside of each of the skeleton's mouths. Not all of them have it, but their mouths are stitched shut. I guess they were strung up there. Maybe it just happened like that. Nobody knows. There's no way of telling. I also actually need a tiny little bit of skeleton horde for this eyeball. Pro mini painters use Citadel whites exclusively? Yeah. Citadel is known for their amazing whites. Great colors. That's actually kind of interesting though. I have my Corex white right over here. So I got this with the absolute starter kit that I bought. Now, it doesn't even look white. Like, it looks kind of white at first glance, but this is white. Like, the tip of the bottle is white. This is great. It's not very white. It is a very grayish white, or a very whitish gray. But anyways, it is interesting how they do call it white. It is not very white at all. Duncan calls it an off-white. Well, that's what it is. It is definitely an off-white. I actually don't like these panels, guys. I've changed my mind on some of these panels. We're gonna change them back. They'll look a little bit different. I've repainted some of the grays in, but I think I'm actually gonna repaint in some of the browns again. I don't like the way it grayed. It's a little too pale. Maybe also a little too matte? I'm not sure about that, but... I just wanted to relayer some little parts. But I got a little bit too, I don't know, too cold. My rock's gone cold, I'm wondering why. I repainted them gray. I figured it would be a good idea. But I disagree again. This should be a slightly see-through base, I guess. Or a slightly see-through color when this is dry. Lowko is old enough to know Dido? Oh, absolutely. She sang the song for Eminem, right? Dear Slim, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. I left my cell, my pager, and my home phone at the bottom. I sent 2 PMs back in beta. Wait, no. I sent 2 back in autumn. Eminem used the word autumn? Hold up right now. I'm scared. I applied for a real job. Oh shit, Dylan. A real job? What are you gonna do? A real job? I wonder what's that like. Not sure if they will take you though. Fair, fair, fair. I couldn't resist another rim, chat. There's a little bit of patchiness on my rim job. So I figured we'll layer it up. Oh shit! My Twitch chat disconnected. Oh, well, it's reconnected again, never mind. It's basically the same, but then for someone else it feels different. I see. No more Warhammer then? Or part-time Warhammer? I can imagine that commission painting is very time intensive and not necessarily Best dollar per hour ratio. Maybe it is, I don't know actually. It could be, it can definitely be. It's just, yeah. I'm gonna take a little bit of green here, a little bit of black I think. And we'll just fill in some of the little gaps that I've got. What's up, Vettel? Are you shaming me right now, program? Is that what you're doing? Just doing your marketing half your time instead of painting? Right, I can imagine that. I can imagine like there's a lot of little things that are very easily forgotten about, right? Like even like shit like packaging up a finished miniature that you have to send out and bringing it to the post, and you know, it takes a lot of time. Like everything takes time. Everything always takes more time than you imagine it would. It's like 50% painting and 50% other shit. Just sleep faster, bro. Take Arnold's advice. Just sleep faster. I want to have a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit of red. Just to dot in the eyeballs of 2 hours of stretching. Holy shit, dude. Mix in Arnold's schedule together with David Goggins' schedule. What a perfect day. Just have 40-hour days instead. Your days only last 24? Pfft. That's what we call cringe on this stream. Okay, I want to paint in the little eyeball here of the crow. This is a large brush, but a very pointy one. I don't love that. Okay. Okay, all right. Is that it? I would like to maybe do a tiny little bit of Carroburg Crimson on some of the wounds, like a little tiny little bit more. Especially for this little section over here. I feel like that one has to be a bit more bruised up. We have a lot of bruised skin on the wound over here, and I really am glad with how that one turned out. I think it looks good. I would also like to do a tiny little bit more over here. Make it look a little bit more bruised. Are you flexing with how much Winamp you have? Winamp flexing in the chat is something entirely new to me. Very nice. Are Winamp, is Winamp the new record player? Which is the old way of listening to music? Are kids gonna go back to Winamp again? Winamp is a piece of crap. Okay. I have not used it in many, many, many years. To be fair, Spotify is by no means perfect though. That app is also kind of confusing sometimes. They added so much bloat. Kind of like Discord, you know? There's so much shit that I really don't want. It's like, stop giving me all this junk. I don't care. Just let me listen to the music. Very popular for companies to do. So for this particular base, I guess we don't use any tufts. I could put a tiny little tuft over here, I guess. Maybe on some of the browns we could add a tiny little tuft. But I'm not sure. Maybe I have some really small ones. Let me have a quick little look, see if we have I have very small tufts over here. These are my smallest ones. What's up, Mickey? How are you doing today? That is a very tiny little bit of grass. Is that good or bad? I think it's all right. I'm doing well, dude. Can't complain. It's not too bad. I don't hate it. This is how I judge my things, apparently. If I don't hate it, I guess it's fine. It's not terrible. What do you guys think of the mossy greens that are dangling on the base? Are they too dull? Yeah, we will have to dab them with a little bit of something. I think I'm going to dab them with some Agrax. Because right now it kind of looks like they're just chucked on there. Fortunately, the Netherlands didn't get affected by recent floods. Yeah, that is very fortunate. Let me try and do some Agrax first, and maybe I'll dry brush them. Dutch are flood's natural enemy? Yeah. We've had a lot of engineers working on floods for hundreds of years. Many people have died. But maybe now we have beaten water? I don't know. Dab a little bit of Agrax. We paint everything we add to a base, right? I heard Mr. Vince EV say that. Everything you add to a base, including tufts and any other additions you may have added, it needs to be painted. Like, yeah, that's not a terrible bit of advice. The Netherlands has a very elaborate system to get rid of water, yeah. The dangerous part of the Netherlands, as far as water goes these days, is not so much the water levels rising. It's water coming out of, like, for example, German mountains. Any water coming in from the east, dude. It's always coming from the east. Any problem the Netherlands has, and it's always coming out of the... Anyways. Yeah, a lot of cities in the Netherlands are below sea level. Sorry, from Germany. No, but apparently that's actually like what engineers are most worried for. Like surrounding countries not taking care of their water situation. Because apparently they're very confident in our setup. But yeah. I don't know, dude. It's one of those things where I can't really do much about it. So we just kind of have to trust that people that do know what they're doing have fixed it. But it is kind of scary sometimes, I guess. But I don't really think about it, if I'm being honest. Basically, the history of the country of the Netherlands is that of trying to, you know, fuck with the water. That's the history. We should invade Germany? I don't know about that. I think I want to add a little bit of a brighter touch on some of them. The water tries to fuck us? Is that what it is? Every time it rains for a week, we lose a city because of floods? Damn. In Germany? I hope this is not too bright. I think this is okay. It's a little bright. I'm gonna dull it down just a tad. Don't the Dutch and the German armies work together? Pretty sure we're supposed to be training together, and we do everything together now. Sehr geil. Thank you, Arne. We can dry brush without a dry brush. Guys, I think it may be finished. It's done! Maybe. I don't know. Is it done? Have we done it? Have we finished the miniature? I don't know, chat. Do we see anything else that needs to be fixed? Anybody here see anything that we need to change? Anything you think I should look at before I call it done? I'm looking all over the thing right now. You think the yellow mushroom is too bright? Okay, that's good advice. That's good. That's a good point. I haven't looked at the mushrooms. Maybe I need to change the mushrooms in general and dull them down a bit. Yeah, the mushrooms are a little too comical, I guess, right? Yeah, you guys are right. That's a very good point. We'll smother them in Agrax. No, yeah, we'll give them a little coat. Make them a little more brown. We like doll mushrooms over here, okay? These look way too happy. I do think mushrooms on bases is cool though. I do like it. Agrax to the rescue, dude. Do other people use Agrax this much? I feel like every solution that I come across is Agrax.